hid from Hunwei beans during Cultural Revolution. All the material from last year must be cleaned fully. Very delicate aroma. Samples from tea factories from Fuzhou province. Hi dear friends, I'm in China again, and now I want to spend a month in China, 3 weeks here, and also after go to Yunnan. And now I'm in Wine Trade Center in Fuzhou because I forgot my camera, so I need to buy this one, DJI Pocket new camera, actually with a microphone. As many my subscribers asked before, okay, Sergey, your sound is not perfect enough. I say, okay, when I film a professional camera, I all the time have a microphone, but now, yeah, finally I have it even with a portable camera also. I hope you hear me much better. Please leave comment if it's not. In China, tea is everywhere, even just a jewelry shop. They sell some silver, and they also sell silver teaware, just in regular trade center. There's no any tea shops here, but you can buy silver Gunfu cha teaware just in jewelry shop. This morning we go to Fuzhou city to visit my friends and partners. So we now will take a high-speed train to Fuzhou. And one of the best thing I like here in early spring, it's the weather. It's like plus 18, plus 20, perfect. This is just a regular high-speed rail station in China, which was with network the hugest in the world and the longest in the world. It was mostly built during only 10 years, most of the network. And this is Xiamen city, Xiamen Beizhang, which means the northern station of Xiamen, because most of these high-speed rails, they was built special stations also, not only the rail itself. And imagine the hundreds of stations like this was built only during 10 years. And this is not even the biggest one. This is a quite interesting Chinese style franchising of teaware shop, kind of. They have around 300 shops, not so big because there are the franchises for 1,000 shops like Bama or like maybe okay Bear Tea or Thai Tea, Moychay Tea Factory, and some others who are much bigger. But this is interesting because some special teaware. But the main thing, it's located on a very expensive spot in the centrum of the high-speed rail. And just on the other side of this square, we see the other tea shop, I think. This is a local Chinese delicate. And this pineapple cake actually appears for the first time. I seen it in Taitung in Taiwan. Here also because it's just the closest destination to Taiwan Island. You can literally from Xiamen Island you can see Taiwan. So the cultures and also local dialects all are quite similar. If you speak Minanhua, this is local southern Fujian dialect. It's literally a Taiwanese dialect, almost. Yeah, because after the revolution in China, the Kuomintang fled to Taiwan and other places like Hong Kong, Macau, northern Thailand, northern Laos. Yeah, and mostly it's from Guangdong and Fujian provinces. Yeah, so you can see a lot of also similarities in culture. Even the monasteries look similar in Taiwan and southern Fujian and so on. And actually southern Fujian, maybe it's one of the most visited destinations for me because of tea, because of tea ware, and because we have here our warehouse. Just have a look. This is our delivery for some tea sample from Guangxi province to Fujian. And here we can see on Chinese application, there's a character, T character, Cha, the character with, here you can see literally the car with this character. So it's designed in the application. Then you can also track the delivery. So it's from Guangxi province to our warehouse in Pinhe. If they know the goods, for example, they also put the description visually. So you can see literally the T character on some coin just in the back of a Shui Fan car. Shui Fan is local delivery service. Very funny. I really like it. Regularly, I'm not so often travel by train, but yeah, because we go for mostly remote areas and some mountain. But now we go just to Fuzhou city from Xiamen city, and by car it took 3 hours something to drive, but by high-speed rail it's only 1 hour. Now driving at going by 300 kilometers per hour. Now we're passing Chuanzhou city. Here is very famous for some stone cutting and how the country really changing. Because like only 5 years ago I traveled the same road. I see many new buildings, a lot of big infrastructure projects almost disappeared. Some very rural houses. So even like you can see here, imagine this is just the farmers, and these farmers living like in 3-4 floor buildings. Here is a typical how people, especially in the West, like to say like, okay, this is north cities, or yeah, a lot of houses which is built but not used. Actually, I've seen a few which like special districts, and you see no one living inside that districts. But mostly I see like how quick such completely new districts became inhabited. With also some shops and some other restaurants and stuff. And only like in 4 years you can see like the same completely empty area became more inhabited. Now we are in a secret place. It's our friend's special warehouse, and he's Xiu Shang. He's a student of Zhang Tianfu, actually the most famous Chinese tea person who passed away not so long time ago. He was 108 years old at that time. Here is his warehouse, which he lived for his student, and he still take care about these really treasures, because it's all from this is Zhangping. It's samples from tea factories from Fujian province, and here we have hundreds of these samples, and mostly we can see the year. For example, this is from 90s and 80s and more older teas, some from even the 70s and 60s, year 89, and mostly this is from white tea, yancha, rocolons, some red tea, some other types, and really great collection. So we will develop relations, because I'm also collect a lot of aged tea. 还是要专业的也要用。哇，
茶香啊！
哇，
你看，像这个都是铁观音、
哇，
佛手，
佛手，哇，
佛手啊，这个是20几年的佛手。
哇。All the time when I visit any train station, new 机场 how it's in English, airport or any other big infrastructure project in China, because most of the projects in China actually it's new and big. One of the biggest impressions is kind of, I don't know, high-tech sci-fi feeling, because even here now is a kind of rush hour. And because of the size of the building, you literally think that there's not so many people, but actually there are hundreds of people all around. It's literally, the sizes are enormous. And before there was widely spread some conspiracy theory about Great Wall, like it was built not by Chinese, or was not built, or blah blah blah, something else. But I can literally say that here we have really huge infrastructure projects built in the last 10-15 years, and there are more and more under construction, and this is really impressive. I like this kind of painting. This is a design of a train station in Xiamen. Something is kind of also mix of tradition and the new styles, and it's a little bit psychedelic experience. Look at this, especially this Chinese Alice in Wonderland kind of. So today I'm in Dahua. Dahua is a ceramic porcelain capital of China, southern Fujian province, and yeah, I was here for many times, and now I'm for a special mission, also research for some not only teaware but actually regular dishes for some client. Yeah, and here, actually the great design of the wall, one of the factories. I like how it's made out of old plates and some other stuff. Here are some very interesting pieces, like old Zhuyao stuff, like here. Yeah, I like, and also some other stuff. Producing a lot of, I like such design made out of kind of trash. Mostly it's made, some unneeded or broken pieces, but still it's good to use as a design. I like it. Yeah, now we will look for a few factories today, maybe tomorrow also. Find new friends, or maybe connect some old relations. This is a goal for the day. One of the small factories in Dahua, they focused on teaware, and this is just really small comparing to most of the factories here, and there are hundreds, even more, maybe around 1,000 of those, and each year we have new factories which replace some other factories who maybe not survived for some reason, because you also need to follow trends, start new products a lot, and so on. Yeah, here we can see just regular processing. If say very briefly, it comes really easy. First they have a liquid clay, and they use the molds to fill it. After it's dry, put it here, leftovers of clay come out, and after they open this mold, and here
already manually by hand. Workers do work on stuff like here. Yeah, this is almost dried teapot, and it's collected out of 4 pieces. So the pot itself, the handle, also all the other small parts used to be assembled together by hand, and after polish a little bit, like here, all the signs of mold, and after then it dried, make also use sometimes you use a dryer, and after they have a low temperature firing, it's on another floor after glazing, and after glazing final firing. That's it. In general, there may be some differences, maybe some different temperatures, different glazing, but in general all ceramics work this way only. And here they also do some tea trays. It's actually chapan. Now is time for lunch, so no one in the place, so we're just waiting for the owners came, talk a bit. This is a storage for liquid clay, and also you see all the leftovers they recycle and again use them. Some herbal medicine. Guys, I don't even count how many factories I visited in Dahua, because I was here, I don't know, maybe 30 times, maybe more. And here actually different type of shaping by this robot. This also we use in our ceramic production. Put it down and you make also different molds, you see. And here you make cups like this. This is still kind of old machine, because now there is a robot automated who do that much faster, and need to be polished by hand, dried, and also after low temperature fired glazed and high temperature fired, and that's it. And now we are on the other floor, and here we see the teapot which was just in production. You can see the different glazes, also some decoration, metal one. This is finally fired pot. Also some silver-like metal stamp. Also stick to it. Also other types of teapots. This is actually the kiln. 你好，你好，我去这边看。
Now we are in a warehouse of our friends in IC, who are one of the biggest in China producers of tea factory equipment, because we bought also here some equipment for our tea factory in Georgia. And yeah, it's a quite big warehouse. And here we have very interesting thing. Old machine for rolling the tea leaves, and it's made from the wood, so it's actually wooden machine. And this is fully manual, without any electricity. The people took it like this and roll the tea this way. So the roller is really fully manual. And now you almost can't find the same machine in any place, even in China. So mostly you can find it in museums. And these guys, because they equipped hundreds of tea factories, they had these machines for museums, where you can sell it to the museum or to someone who wanted. But yeah, quite interesting to have it. Maybe we will take one later if we will have our museum. Or the best news you can get in China is then the new tea just landed, just started, and now we have this. Actually, it's very early this year, because regularly, middle of March. Now it's the 9th of March. You would not start producing the red tea before in this time. Because of global warming, it's already, weather is okay. And also this is a special cultivar which can be harvested this time. And, this is very, very thin and very delicate, but just started one day ago. So yesterday he do the first batch, and today the second. And we of course came for you. For more than already maybe 15 years I came to China, and all the time I say the main reason why I go to the tea factory, not only for business, okay, but also to smell absolutely wonderful aroma of the tea which comes out after the drying and also during fermentation. It's like fresh fruits, some flowers, incredible, very delicate aroma. Here's the drying just after fermentation of the red tea. They took it and dry on this machine. Yeah, and also it's very important because now it's the first harvest. This is why also the aroma is much more delicate than the regular tea. Wow, I really want to drink it. Already we can try now the first batch from yesterday. So we immediately arrived as soon as we know that the processing started this year very early. Wow, we are lucky today. Really lucky today to try the first batch of red tea. Wow, a little bit like a fresh bread just from the bakery, but the bread with raisins, maybe with some fruits, with dried fruits, because it's very sweet. And also it's because it's red tea, so it's red tea which produced from oolong, tea bush. And when you produce red tea from oolong, of course, it's much more sweeter, because regularly oolong tea cultivar is more sweet, more aromatic than any other. So if you make a red tea and you make a proper fermentation, especially the first harvest right now, it's very, very delicate and very special. It's very appreciated by anyone who are in tea, which is why I'm also very excited. I just feel the smell. I say, wow, the tea, finally the tea of the year. We're now in one very special restaurant, kind of village, regular fast food, we can say, not fast, but just food. Director of the factory brought us here, even drove around 40 minutes because of this. This is fully handmade noodles. This is traditional noodles, and this family, actually this lady, yeah, she is now cooking, and she is already in this for 8th or 9th generation, so more than 300 years history. They produce these noodles, fully handmade, and the technology not yet changed till now, for a very, very long time. What I like in any small county, in any small village, have their own traditions. So finally we're trying these wonderful noodles made from soya beans, and yeah, here it is. It's almost like a soup, and also wild fish directly from the small mountain streams. Also different types of fish altogether. It's quite difficult to get some food like this in any city in China, because only in villages you can have something like that. But also these noodles, actually, okay, I'm 15 years here and I'm trying for the first time the noodles like this, fully handmade and also made from soya beans, and also this kind of recipe, quite unique. Such a beautiful evening today, and yeah, and now I'm on the plantations, and these plantations now just ready to be harvested in around 3-4 weeks, because here is a different type. It's local Jin Mudan or Hua Jingui. Two types here mostly in this place, and yeah, we can see like the buds size now is super small, like this. It's called in some places called Tuishe, or the tongue of the small bird, Tuishe. There's a type of sparrow actually, type of green tea, but here they don't produce green tea, mostly oolong and red tea a little bit. But the red tea we just bought is from different cultivar. It's called Zhusa Jingui, and this Zhusa Jingui, it's quite rare actually, because the amount of harvesting is very low, so regularly they don't do a lot of this type, because mostly farmers don't grow it, because not enough material, how do they say. Hopefully we will keep the track on it, and we will produce next year again, because we're really lucky to catch the batch before some Wushine clients took it. Yeah, and here is it. Just cut it down a few months ago, and bushes slept during the winter, And now the only first buds are pure, and after 3 weeks they will harvest oolongs from here. How Chinese say "quite hela," it means very soon it will be dark, so we need to visit one more factory to discuss some other topics.
哦，地皮那么大，那不多呀？好一块河里，好一块河里哦，没拿到。
就是这个，哇，
太嫩了，帮我拿多一点。
啊，可以。So finally we are on the next factory, and I'm so lucky to try the first Jin Jun Mei of the year actually. And today it was made, and just now it was dried. Now the farmer, here he is, and here is the tea. We're just selecting, and now we will try the first Jin Jun Mei. Wow, I'm so excited today. Wow. Little bit walk around the factory. Here we have rollers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rollers. The director of the factory said that it's very important to clean everything between the steps, and also especially when you prepare to the new season, before you start, all the material from last year must be cleaned fully. So it must be very clean. Even all these pans, the bamboo pans, are super clean, almost like new. So no any old dust from last season. Also this machine for yachting, for shaking the leaves, also clean. And here for Wei Diao, also clean. This is a kind of a secret. As soon as you do cleaning of all the machinery, all equipment which you produce tea, it's really not affects the new batch, because if you keep some even dust from last year, even a little bit, especially the very delicate first tea which is produced in the very beginning of spring, you will not have a wonderful aroma out of tea if you keep it. So yeah, this director said he like, okay, I really want to make the best aroma ever. I can say his Jin Jun Mei is really something. We just tried a few types. It's very good tea. Good morning from Binhe. Binhe is county on the border with Guangdong on the south of Fujian province. It's actually capital of Binhe, Bayatilan tea and some other types. And now we go to the top of the mountains in this direction to find a very good wild oolong tea, which actually I before already bought here, but I don't visit some villages for a couple of years. You still need to again go to search for some interesting local stuff. It's quite unknown tea, and mostly because it's very few villages produce this kind of wild black and wild oolong tea. A little bit bitter one, and also I want to look for some aged one, old one. So we arrived to the village of my friend Juan. I also visited his mother. Yeah, I never was here before, but actually we already work together around almost 10 years. But the first time I'm in his Lao Cha, how it's called in Chinese. Lao Cha, it means old home. Lao, it's old, and Cha, it's like home. Yeah, so here we have absolutely fantastic view. There is a big plot of wild forest for many hectares. It's a sanctuary kind of. And here we also have semi-wild forest, like a bamboo, but not agricultural land. Also here begins kind of national park level. And here is all the hills. It's Bayachilang tea, but here's mostly pomelo. And the most interesting is these small bushes. Actually not small, if you see the size. It's much taller than me, around 2.5 meters, maybe 3 meters even. Some of the trees, they are quite big. If you look here, you know, like here, yeah, at least maybe 80 something years. Yeah, so quite interesting to try tea from here. Actually, before I already tried, but for the first time I visited this village. Here in Pinhai we have a dozen of villages like this. They all produce this kind of Yeshen cha, how we call it, or wild tea. Wild tea from, we also called Yeshen Oolong or Yeshen Hong cha, wild red tea, black tea, or wild oolong. I just tried a fresh bud, a little bit bitter, and very, very delicate aftertaste. For sure, I believe this is very good tea. I will try now. Small dog don't know how to react on me, be a little bit angry at me, or just try to interact. I think he first see foreigner in his life. And this is actually a guihua tree. It's very small, beautiful flowers, often used and also in some tea. Also now it's very popular in China is guihua hong cha. The tea with guihua, red tea with this flower, asmandos. 你好。哎，啊，你好，你好，你好。哎呀，对。Finally, we are in Pinhai Mountains and some small village where I already just arrived at a house with my friends, and especially prepared for us some tea which we stored for just their own consumption. The amounts is like this, like few kg only, like for 2, 3, 5, so it's not a big batches. Regularly I just keep it for myself for some special sessions, which I all the time recommend to participate. Yeah, it's actually wild grown kind of oolong, so not grown, it's from the forest, because here is a big natural reserve nearby, kind of sanctuary, and they don't have even a machine, so they make it fully manual. So we just harvest the leaves, make withering, after that rolling and fermentation, or by hand, so we don't have even a machine. This is most interesting, so most traditional way of production. And yeah, now we're trying tea which is around 6, 7 years aged. And here also we are, interesting story that they don't drink it fresh. They say that because it's very bitter, as soon as you produce it, it's very bitter, and first 2, 3 years they just store it for a while. And only after they start to cook it, to drink it actually, yeah. And this bitter taste is because of wild origin, so it's not some cultivar which relate to Danzong, but wild. So it's quite specific to your origin, and yeah, and also the amounts is all the time like this, so it's not possible to find in any big amount. I like it. It's a little bit something between Danzong oolong and a little bit like red tea, like Hong cha. A little bit something local. Yeah, so it's very interesting to try. Oh, and here we have oldest tea, which was packed before he built this house around 30 years ago. So we will try the last one, the tea from this beautiful Juan. And it's really have a little bit aroma of aged pu'er, but in real it's really yeah, it's oolong. Yeah, we want to try. 对，这个比较香啊。Yeah, we're just discussing that they have a good smell. This tea really have a beetroot aroma.
and even a little bit beetroot taste, like some of pu'er tea, but really aged. This taste can only appear if you really store tea for so long time. It's impossible to develop without aging. So finally took one bag, like 3 kg of tea from 2018. We will use it for my special sessions. This is why you need to visit them as soon as it will be in your city or somewhere. The air. They have even kind of guhua. And here is a very famous Fujian Dolo earth house. It's very famous. You can also Google about it, and I also filmed before a lot about it. Tulo, there are many big Tulo, which is tourist attractions, but there are hundreds of those like this, smaller in some villages, also in the mountains, and also like partially round, not full round. Yeah, very beautiful. Only 20 years ago, most of the houses was like this here. Until now, the government protect them and don't let the civilians destroy them. They also pay some money for them to repair and keep it going, not them get demolished. So it's kind of a protection of natural, cultural, architectural heritage, how we can say. Actually, Tolo, it's a part of UNESCO program, especially the big ones, like Lunyang and some other famous places. Yeah, it's very big deal. And now we are in a local small temple, Taoist temple, because actually this village is Taoist village. And interesting fact that it was fully destroyed during the Cultural Revolution, but still some stones, actually these stones are from the old building, and it was recovered. So you can see the stone, but the concrete is a new one. It was in the 90s, so around 30 years ago. It was constructed, built it again. Here we see the altar and these goats, these Taoist goats. They was protected, they were hidden by the local citizens. They hid it from Hunwei beans during Cultural Revolution, and after they hid it, and after Deng Xiaoping came to power, they started slowly rebuild all the monasteries in China. And here you can see on this incense burner, it's a 92 year, so it's from around 30 years ago. So 1992 this was made, and also at the same time was built the temple again. And here you see the painting, also all handmade. We especially invited the artist, I think from Penhai City. Very humble, but I really like the vibe in these small temples. And here the local citizens who care about, they have these red papers, and they write down all the families who are donating for caring for kind of repair of the church or the temple. Here's from 2019, here's 2022, here's 2023, and you can see some families, rich families, for example, they like paid like 5,000. Someone paid like 900 or only 40 yuan something, depending on the wealth of the family. Each family have its own possibilities and opportunities, but they all together help to take care about it. We'll try some more aged tea, new house. So we're trying tea in the second house. Also the neighbors, quite specific taste, similar to the previous actually one. This is from 2022, 2 years ago. And also different harvest, but also from wild. And here's the kitchen of the house of the mother of my employee, local Juan. Actually, my friend, maybe better to say. And yeah, here is a very traditional Chinese kitchen actually, and especially in villages we still use wood fire to cook, because on the wood fire Chinese say 菜有香. It means food may have a very good aroma, like a smell, good smell. And yeah, and they cook on an open fire. And regularly these buildings, also the same, it's in Yunnan province, in other provinces, most of rural areas in China, they have this kind of small building, just with a special door which separate the kitchen from the other part of the house, and just to avoid the smoke go inside the house. So actually, yeah, it was built, this house actually quite new. It was built in the 90s when they actually stopped to have all this communist working together, all village on one plantation. It have actually no any good result. And then they had a private renting of the land, or kind of ownership of the land. They built this house. It was in the 90s, maybe around, maybe even later. In that houses, there are even some older ladies, and they are more than 200 years history. That one maybe almost 300 years old. 你好, 你好. Also beautiful. I like this energy. In this village, maybe half of the house is old, and half is quite new. Finishing of our very hard working day. Not yet finished, it's full, but still. Actually, we just drink a lot of aged tea, Lao Cha. Maybe around 12 different types, and you need to choose, or even more. We not tried yet, but we just keep for next time, which is good that it's not some shop or something. They're just friends of my local representative person who is just have some stock of old tea. What's the most important about Chinese tea, and not only tea, but actually about Chinese culture and China in general? You can spend all your life on it. You can spend 10 decades and decades on researching or increasing your knowledge in some spectrum, and you'll still be not on the starting point, but still will be much more to research, much more to develop in future. And now we are in Zhangping. It's also one county in Fuzhou province, and we're going for Zhangping Shui Xian. This is actually also one of the types of oolong tea which produced traditionally for already for many long time, hundreds of years actually. But the fact is, with my almost 20 years in tea and maybe 15 years in China, I never visited before this county. I knew about this tea, I drank it, some of my friends also give me to try and so on, but I never visited just because, I didn't have time. And finally, now I just kind of, I have some blind maps, blind places on the map of China, and now I just close them. So we go to the Zhangping, and we're now already in this county. Very beautiful place. Maybe not the best weather, but and also not the season, not time of production. And first remind me Wuhan, because everywhere is tea mountains, everywhere is small tea factories, and they mostly produce Shui Xian type of tea. So it's a kind of oolong, as I told, and we now will try. Now I visit one of my actually quite old friends, which I knew for a long time, but I never visited his factory before. We are in a very centrum of Zhangping village, and here we have a beautiful sign, Jin Jun Mei. So it means actually the first village of Shui Xian in China. Actually, I similarly can say that we've seen something really relevant in Jian'ou, which also pretends to be like a motherland of Shui Xian cultivar in China, or something like this. But you can see that many places in China, like the capital of tea, like Anxi, and also you can see the capital of tea in many other regions. So this literally means nothing. It's just kind of advertisement and pretending to be important, and actually really being important in fact. But this doesn't mean that only here is a motherland of production of Shui Xian. You see this very beautiful bridge, actually newly built. I think that any place which produces tea in China now want actually have kind of tourist attraction, whatever, I don't know, special attractive local monuments or local names, or also to call for more actions from visitors. And some kind of image, even if it's just a small local type of tea. Nothing but here. I really appreciate this type of promotion in China. I think it's great, and I like that almost everywhere you see something like this. I like it. It means that as soon as I want to drink some tea on nature, I mostly all the time will find some very beautiful, scenic, traditional bridge, or I don't know, arch or something. This village also have name Beilao village, name of the village, which is like a center. And this region we can say pretty big. They produce around 200 tons of tea each year. Here in the village with less than 1,000 citizens. Also what I heard about the place, that here is also some ancient tea trees up to 400 years old. Very centrum of the village, we can see some of a pond, which actually also you can see some small boats over there. Yeah, here maybe during summertime some kids can use it as a swimming pool. Yeah, but the sign 流水青山就是金山银山. Meaning is that please care about the nature and your surrounding, your mountains, your water. But 绿水 it means green water, 金山 like clear mountains, 就是 it means is, 金山 it's golden mountain, and 银山 it's silver mountain. Yeah, so please take care about nature. And actually, because as I told, this village and also the area is a part of ecological development project, and this is why we have also this sign and all these infrastructure products all around. Beautiful and really beautiful view with the tea and forests. And actually Fujian province have up to more than 70, up to 80% of Fujian province is a forest, really forest, not the agricultural land, but really wild forest. And you can see all this green top of the hills are really green, and no one cut the trees, and it's really mandatory, prohibited in China. So it's, some people maybe do, but it's really difficult, and it's you can go to jail just for one tree, literally. 你好，你好，你好，你好，你好，谢谢。
in the center of Zhangping Shui Xian production, and this is actually one of the top factories here, which is also kind of a museum because they are work on all the standards. It's quite clean production, which we can say not all looks like this, but yeah, this is a kind of a standard quality. Here we have a place for withering after they harvest the tea from the mountains. They make a big concrete floor to make a withering. This is the entrance to the tea factory, and here we have really the standards dressing room with all. You can change the shoes and change clothing, so really try to keep it on a level. Also wash your hands, so all really like in a standard for HACCP. And here from the entrance we have rooms for withering, and they make also a shaking of the leaves made by hand on these pans, bamboo pans, or also there was an old Yaoqingji, how we can say, the machine for shaking the leaves. You can stir it by hand. So before there was no electricity and they use this type of machine. Looks quite beautiful, but now of course no one uses it, just for kind of attraction. And yeah, here we have more rooms for withering. Here we have few rooms for withering and shaking. Actually, they have around 4 steps of shaking with the periods. After that, machine for frying the leaves, killing of the green, and after that, the rolling. Actually, here it's also because it's kind of a museum. They have even this is a special handmade rolling by hand. Also some, I think, frying the leaves a bit. Modern machine for rolling and old wooden machine for rolling, manual actually, with no electricity. We've seen the similar ones in our friends who are doing producing machines. And here the most interesting step, it's only here. In Zhangping they make Shui Xian in shape of bricks. Also the mold, they use this mold. They put the leaves here, also this for pressing, and they make this shaped tea. The unique process also because here they don't make it the same as pu'er, so they not make it first dry and after that add some moisture, or how do we process our herbal teas? No, not this way. We really do, it's completely different. They just take the leaf directly from the roller, it's still wet, and after they shape it here using this mold, and after they pack it in this rice paper. And the last step, actually, the bricks itself, here they are. They first dry the tea actually, and after they pack it in the rice paper, and this is the size of the brick. So it's very traditional, and still they produce it at the same time. So now we will go to try. The owner of the factory invited us to have a try of the tea. Actually, here is the 3rd generation owner of this factory, and here's a sign that they have. Actually, they start in 1948, so it's not so old. The production of Shui Xian in this area. This is why it's not so big history like like Moychay and so on. But this shape actually came from this place, and it have almost 100 years of history. That's quite interesting. Here they have also a museum, like place for trying tea. A lot of signs, a lot of some tea fair, and also government credentials from Fujian Provincial Department of Commerce, and also for personally for the owner because he is young, and also some golden place and competitions and so on. Many other documents. Here's some historical documents from 50s about the startup of the factory, and this is actually the brother of grandfather of the owner who started all these first molds. Yes, this is Zhangping calligraphy
one of the most famous person in Fujian, who actually I also know he's a student. He now lives in Fuzhou. He was passed away in the age of 108. Drink tea a lot, you will be also passed away in 108 at least. and actually, here's first molds for Shui Xian, some old cabinet. Now we're trying the tea, and the owner of the factory gave us a try of fresh tea, which is a fresh Shui Xian, very light one. And now we all try 15 years aged, also Zhangping Shui Xian. The owner of the factory say that the tea originates from Jen Owen and Wuishan, but later, because of almost 100 years of history, it was changed naturally by just technology and the cultivar itself. So we will see that teas really have different tastes, very, very aromatic. And really different from Wuishan in other places. 15 years aged, 20 years aged, 30 years aged. Real stuff.
This is the plantations of Zhangping Shui Xian. Just inside the forest, actually, you see there's already the forest and some plots of tea plantations just inside the forest, the Shui Xian cultivar. Now it's not the harvesting period, so it will only come in more than a month time. And they have 2 harvesting periods. Mostly we're focused on chuncha, spring tea, but actually quality tea mostly in the spring. It's from end of April till middle of May. Also autumn tea from end of October to middle of November. So this is 2 seasons for Zhangping Shui Xian tea. Now it's not a season actually, but as soon as we have time, we decided to a little bit look around. Very beautiful scenic location here, and also beautiful rocks. In many places in China, there are terms like wild tree or wild bush or yeshancha, how we can say. And actually, this is how it looks in a wild. So just a bigger leaf, bigger branches, and actually, if you look to the root, there is a big root, and if you don't cut the crops, so it gives much less buds and more energy, more growth power. The bush gives to the branches and some bigger leaves. So if you don't cut, don't trim, it became more rough later. And also, of course, for wild branches, you can harvest much less amount of tea. So this is how it looks. Often this kind of wild tea is just abandoned tea bush, like here, and yes, I think it just grows naturally inside the bamboo forest. Here's a very beautiful, small, tiny. It's in Chinese it's called tu di mian. It's a kind of small incense burner, which regularly some farmers put on near the roads, near some plantations, to pray for harvesting, for everything. So it's local tradition. Also, of course, some teacups. And here we can see a very beautiful scenic old village, because we drive a little bit outside of the main road and go just straight to the forest. And all the time in these places you can really find some very, very special, something special. We will try to have a look. The average sea level on the plantations here in Zhangping, it's around 250, 300 something. There are also more high mountain areas, but these plantations here is 280. This is why we have a lot of watering system. It's quite hot, especially during the summer. So in Fujian, it's really hot. Well, 2 years ago, it was even drought around 3-4 months, almost half a year, no rain at all. So many tea plants suffered. This is actually why Chinese government implement more and more some eco programs for rebuilding forests and so on, because
it really affects the climate. Yes, more forests we have, the better it comes out. And what I like the most now, more and more agriculture areas, because this is actually agriculture areas. The area looks like this. More than half is forest, only the rest is tea. We now own one more factory, and the next one, and yeah, this is the owner of the factory, and he just explained that for Zhangping Shui Xian, also very important is the fact that each batch really different. Actually, it's any batch is different, but if you have loose leaf tea, you can mix it somehow. But if you make small bricks, you can't mix it. You need to have each day specific batch, because it's as soon as you roll it and you immediately make a small, we call it bean, cha bean, the same as a pour. And this small compressed bricks you can't mix. You have each day specific tea. So this is why it's very important to try it all the time. We now will try 5 different types of local aged Shui Xian, old aged Shui Xian. It's all packed in these wonderful small bricks, quite old, maybe more than 15 years. Some is a little bit younger, and we will unpack, unwrap everything, and we'll check it. Actually, Zhangping Shui Xian also very famous because it's all organic, Yoji Zhen. We have organic certificate for all the area, not 1 or 2 factories, but all the area. They focus on organic tea production. So this is also very important. I first unwrap everything. Wow, this looks like already old. And now we are inside one of the houses here in the villages. It's actually have a little bit like Tulo shape, the earthen houses shape, almost the half of a round. Yeah, and it's not fully inhabited. Mostly it's like a monument, but some people still living here. On some of the houses over there, you can even see some old, the era of Cultural Revolution slogans, which called Dazibao. Maybe some of them not so old. Actually, here we have some new advertisement of Kuaidi, the delivery services. Some buildings have new, already new built houses, but just nearby here